Fulham 1, Manchester City 2, and the Blues are back on top of the table. That sounds fantastic, doesn't it? It is amazing to be back on top of the table. It feels like so long. It's since we dropped points to Nottingham Forest after we beat Arsenal in the Emirates, we have not been on top. And an interesting stat appeared on screen during today's game saying that we have only spent 14 nights on top of the table this season, and you compare it to Arsenal, which I think was something like 286, I want to say. It just goes to show that it's not about who plays the best football from, August right the way to February or March. It's about who can peak at the right time and who can have that killer mentality at the right time. And I think it's fair to say this Manchester City team have showed they do have that killer mentality and they're able to flex it at the right time, because all season long we've been saying, listen, we don't look consistent here. We don't look like we can put more than 3 or 4 games together in a row win-wise. I mean, I think there was a stage there where we couldn't win more than 4 games in a row, and I'd never fully conceded the title. I'd never fully said that, I don't think we can win this. I fully backed this team the whole way through because I know what they've done in recent years, but to see what's happened in the last 2 months, since the last international break and slightly before it, maybe going back as far as our game against Villa at home after those charges came to light, the team has just clicked into a gear that we haven't seen definitely since last season. And I think you'd have a good argument if you said that it's a gear that we haven't seen before. The team looks relentless. The team looks ruthless. We know how to win games. We know how to see these games out. Now, today's 2-1 win over Fulham, I think fast back or go back 12 months, we probably draw that game 2 each, potentially lose it. Fast track or fast back 7-8 months, we may draw it as well. I think this team in its current form and the comments you see made by the likes of Bernardo Silva and Kevin De Bruyne and Pep Guardiola suggests that we're using our experience, we're using the wealth of knowledge we have built up over recent seasons and recent years to know how to see these things out. Now, was today's game against Fulham a tantalising performance from Manchester City? Absolutely not. But the line I'm running every single game now, it's result over performance. I don't care if we slap up Fulham 5-0. I'll happily take a 1-0. I'll leave Craven Cottage today, 2-1 winners, perfectly happy, back on top of the table. This has been a really, really exhausting week for Manchester City. A really, really exhausting month. You look at the 2 Bayern games, you look at the Leicester game, a trip to Wembley. You then have the Arsenal game, which was people were touting as a potential Premier League decider. And then you move into Craven Cottage. For me, I'll give Fulham the respect, man. They're a proper team. They're a proper team. And they had no Mitrovic today. They lost Tim Ream earlier in the game to injury. His arm could be broken. I do wish him a speedy recovery. They lost Pereira in the second half. They're a good team. It's no coincidence that they performed as well as they have this season. So for us to go there and beat them 2-1 when we're nowhere near at our best, let's call a spade. We were nowhere near at our best. I'm going to criticize the fact because we were tired, but I'm happy to take the result. I think the team looked tired today. When I say criticize, I don't mean I'm going in on them. I don't mean I'm saying this is not good enough. I just mean I'm calling a spade a spade. The team looked tired today. And I've already referenced the fact that it's been a hard few weeks. It's been a hard month. It's been a hard 2 months because of the sheer effort they've put in to get to the stage we're at right now. I mean, top of the table, Champions League semi-final, FA Cup final, to be at this point right now took a monumental effort. So for them to go to Craven Cottage and not look 10 out of 10, I think is perfectly understandable. But to do that and get the win is absolutely huge. I mean, I'll talk about the goals and all that kind of thing because they're great. They're absolutely great. I mean, the penalty, Haaland, no one saves that penalty. Haaland's absolutely lethal from the spot, barring his penalty miss away to Bayern. He's lethal, and he now equals the footballing first division record in English football for most goals in a season. Obviously, he broke the record for most goals in a Premier League season when 38-game campaign, and he now equaled Alan Shearer and I think it's Andy Cole's record in a 42-game campaign. So that's 34 goals. Haaland equals that, and he's now on 50 goals for the season. People don't talk about this enough. I don't know, is it because he plays for Manchester City? I don't know, is it because people are jealous? I don't know what it is, but people do not talk about the fact that Erling Haaland is a freak of nature. An absolute freak of nature with the way he scores goals and the amount of goals he scores. He has no right to come in to a new league at the age of 22, probably the fastest and most physical league in the world right now, and score 50 goals in all competitions. This guy is an absolute enigma. I have no explanation for how this guy has done this. People talk about this great Arsenal team right now, and you know what? They are a great team. I think by any other era standards, this current Arsenal team are exceptional. They really are. But what you attach to that conversation with Arsenal is they're young and they're inexperienced. No one says that about Erling Haaland because there's no need. This guy does not look young and inexperienced. He is young, he is inexperienced, but he's playing like a 29-year-old seasoned striker at the top level and bettering that at the same time. I want more respect on Erling Haaland. I want more respect on Erling Haaland, not just from you guys, because I know that you as City fans, you do understand the sheer volume of what this guy is offering to our team. I just mean the footballing world need to understand, they need to accept that we're witnessing genuine generational greatness before us right now. I did a video a few weeks ago about all the records he's broken, and I gassed him up there, and I'll gas him up now, and I'll gas him up at the end of the season. This guy is a special player, and he's just taken out his release clause because he loves Manchester City, and he's staying for a long time. La Araña! Goal number 2 that sealed the win for us today overall. Julian Alvarez, myself and LB, we had a bit of a back and forth about the starting 11 versus Fulham today. And you know what? Going with Alvarez, I think it's what LB said, was the correct decision. Because with no Kevin De Bruyne in the middle of the park, it was obvious. First of all, we weren't controlling the middle of the pitch. We were not controlling the game the way we would like. I think if you have a fully fit and fresh Kevin De Bruyne on the pitch today, it becomes overall a lot more comfortable because he will dictate, he will control, he'll calm things down, but that wasn't there. But what you are going to get with Alvarez is not that. I don't think Alvarez is that kind of calming presence who'll just dictate the flow of play, maybe the way a fit Gundogan would as well. But what he does offer, and LB alluded to this, was he shoots on sight. He shoots on sight. He's a sniper. If he gets a sniff at goal, he will shoot. He has that Erling Haaland instinct of, I sense a goal here for myself. I don't care what's happening around me, whether you like it or not, whether it's the right decision or not. I'm going for this because I'm hungry for my goal. He had a few chances, but the one that he took was the main one. A fantastic finish. You can argue whether he meant it or not, whether he meant to lob the keeper. I think Leno made the mistake of being too far off his line. But nevertheless, Alvarez absolutely seized his opportunity, which essentially gave us the 3 points and put us on top of the table. So you have to give Alvarez credit for that whenever this guy is called upon and whenever you ask to bring him on, he always impacts positively. He really does, and I can't say the same for that in seasons gone by about players that we would have brought on in recent years. I mean, you bring on a Raheem Sterling, he wasn't always positively impactful. You bring on a Gabriel Jesus, he wasn't always positively impactful. Great memories, they've done great things, but they didn't always have the consistent impact that Julian Alvarez does. We now have 2 world-class strikers in our ranks, and one of them today wasn't even playing as a striker and still bagged himself a goal. Combined, last summer, those players cost around 65-70 million. You would now pay that in today's market for one very good striker. We have the best striker in the world and a very, very up-and-coming top striker who's not playing striker in Julian Alvarez on the bench or else playing midfield where Kevin De Bruyne would slot in. Listen, am I overwhelmed with today's performance? Am I over-buzzing with today's performance? Absolutely not. I'll reference the point I made earlier on once again. The team is tired, and I would not be surprised for 1 second if, I think it's West Ham we have on Wednesday evening, if there was a multitude of changes to the team that took to the pitch against West Ham, because the likes of Gundogan looked tired. Grealish, I thought he was good today. You know me, people. I'm a big Grealish backer, a big Grealish defender. I thought he was good today. Probably should have scored at least once. But he does look a little bit tired. I think Rodri looked a bit tired. I think the defense was shaky at times. You do have to be honest with yourself when you're assessing these games and admit that for a large part of the game, or large portions of the game spread out, Fulham controlled the game and it was very nervy and shaky. I think our defense overall looked a little bit weak. It looked a little bit nervy, a little bit shaky. Probably not the best performance I've seen from Ruben Dias in a long time, but you take into account the amount of football Ruben Dias has played and the weight on Ruben Dias's shoulders to be a leader and be a carrier in this team. I think he's excused for having a slightly below par performance. And the fact that we still get away with the win is absolutely huge. I think Leno, the Fulham goalkeeper, probably saved them. You know, he made some top saves. There's 1 or 2 chances from Erling Haaland that Haaland could have probably put the game entirely to bed, and we wouldn't have had those nervy moments towards the end of the game. But listen, I'm happy, man. I'm really happy. For me, that seals the win versus Arsenal. Obviously, beating Arsenal 4-1, absolutely fantastic, buzzing with that, but seal that, you know, finish it off, finish the week off, get the job done, get back on top of the table, go to Craven Cottage and beat Fulham, smash and grab if needs be. And I think you could argue it was somewhat of a smash and grab because we did not play our best. Fulham played quite well. They've got some very good players. That Anthony Robinson, I really like him, and I think maybe you guys in the comments should let me know your thoughts on him. Is he someone you would potentially like as an option for City? The guy's rapid, and he's not a bad footballer. Under Pep Guardiola, I think he could become a really good footballer. He's an option that we've been linked to, and I'd strongly consider. So for us to go there, like I said, absolutely huge. Top of the table. West Ham on Wednesday, Leeds next weekend, 2 home games in a week. I think that's needed. It's massively needed with all the travelling and high intensity games we've played recently. 2 home games, we should win them. I think win those 2 games, we win the league. I genuinely believe that. And I don't think that's outrageous either, so I don't know why I'm emphasising it so more. Win those games, we win the league. And they're 2 so winnable games. Leeds fighting for their lives, playing really badly recently. They lost to Bournemouth today as far as I'm aware of. Bournemouth securing themselves Premier League status next season. Leeds, it's not looking good, brev. It's not looking good, brev. West Ham, they're not quite safe, but they will come to the Etihad and have a good rattle. They will have a good rattle. They found a bit of form in the last sort of month or so I wouldn't be taking them lightly. But win those 2 games, I think the league is ours. I really think the league is ours. I do think, like I said, Pep's going to have to rotate. He's going to have to mix it up a bit on Wednesday night because the team that played today simply cannot play on Wednesday. I would fear for the fatigue levels and the energy levels required to beat West Ham on Wednesday. You know, bearing in mind everything that our players have had to go through in the last week. But listen, I'm happy, man. The Blues back on top of the table. It's not about how good you play throughout the season. It's about when you peak. And right now, we are peaking at the right time. And we're showing that wealth of experience that everybody spoke about throughout the whole season. Listen, I was meant to go to the game today. I'm sure plenty of you know. There would have been a match day vlog. But I'll keep it 100 with you. I'm very tired. I'm very run down. I went to Bayern away. I went to Arsenal. I've done games before that, you know, weeks leading up to that. I'm tired, but I've got games coming up. There are more match day vlogs coming, so don't be worried. There's plenty of match day content coming. Just allow me for today because the battery levels, my inner battery levels are running low. But listen, I'm still buzzing. Nevertheless, I'm buzzing to be back top of the table. We should see this out. We should be Premier League champions. We're playing like Premier League champions. That's a Premier League champions performance today. You don't play your best, but you still get your 3 points under pressure. Listen, leave all of your comments down below on today's performance and where you feel we are season-wise. Should we go on to win this now? Should we see it out? Champions League, FA Cup, all that good stuff. Treble talks increasing, of course, and if you would do me a massive favor, your support on my videos recently have been absolutely class, so please do smash a like and subscribe to the channel if you're new. We've just passed 74k and 75k is now firmly in our horizons. We can see it now. We're in the home straight, as they say to 70. So please do that. I'll see you all very soon with a brand new video. Enjoy the rest of your weekend.